name's Jordan. This is my daughter, Magnolia, and then my wife is named Jessica. We moved to Hilliard in July of 2020. Up here for a job. Actually, the first person that we actually met in Hilliard was Sharon, and we connected because I heard that there was like a church movement or something like that going on at the coffee shop. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, kind of edgy. Talked to her, and then she's like, you need to meet my husband, Nate. And I said, okay. And then she said this word that I associated the Holy Spirit just kind of pushing a little bit. And she said the word missional community. It's something I was very passionate about, something that I was looking for. Nate and I started to connect a little bit more, walked through a lot of life together, got married actually in this building with my wife in 2021. I did work for you for a little bit, through August through, I want to say December of 2020 really was like where I was. So I started at the house, and then I also went over to the Crooked Can for a little bit. And that was my favorite one because you can actually like meet people, talk to people a little bit more. I introduced a couple different drinks here that no one gives me credit for. But hey, I just make sure that's recorded. Make sure that's on the recording there.
What drinks?
Yeah, so the apple cider drink. Yeah, that was mine.
That was your fault?
That was me, because Kyler tried to do it, but I actually perfected it, and it was mine. We were kind of not wearing masks, but we were like right there on the cusp there, so I didn't really see that part too much. I saw a lot more community posts and inspirational posts and things like that with Sharon. So I don't know if that was regular or not, but that's what I saw. Every time I bring someone in here, because I do a lot of meetings and just stuff here, they say there's something really special about the shop. It's very community oriented. It's very relational. Just even with the upstairs just having couches and there's different areas. And I would say that is like the biggest reason why I actually bring people here, is because it feels so relational and it puts people at ease right when you step in the door. It doesn't look like the traditional coffee shop-ish kind of thing, right? And then there's a story behind, the coffee shop, whether you talk to, the mayor of Hilliard kind of guy, right? And he's like, this was a general store and this is where they used to bring all these things. Like, that's cool, but it's the people that are working here have such a relational heart that adds to just the building itself and the intention behind Coffee Connections. Originally, I wanted to leave Hilliard. I wanted to leave Ohio forever. I was not sold for Hilliard. Actually, it was like my least favorite place in the world. It wasn't until I went to my now wife's house in West Virginia. We prayed with her and her sister and her now sister's husband. And no one was really hearing anything from God. And we were sitting outside on a picnic table outside of her house. And I was like, what do you think? Like, we can go do church plants in South Carolina, in Washington. Like, where do you want to go? Like, let's just go ahead and move somewhere else. And she said, no, I really feel like there's something special in Hilliard. And I said, are you serious? And she said, yeah, I really feel like there's something special in Hilliard. And so I said, well, I want to do everything I can to make that happen. I'll keep us in Hilliard. I think it just kind of grew on me. It wasn't that I loved it all together. Like, I loved Old Hilliard because it was just, there's a very different feel about Old Hilliard, but I didn't love it. I didn't even like it. What I did is I was really trying to honor my wife, and I was trying to honor God. And through that, I experienced this town through your guys' eyes and through James's eyes, and then met some more people that were really in love with Hilliard. And then I said, oh wow, this is special. Where my heart was, really resistant and not wanting to be here, now my heart is shifted to saying, I want to uplift everything about Hilliard. I want to uplift the people. I want to uplift the businesses, and really grow as much as I can Hilliard. With Coffee Connections, like, everything that Nate and Sharon do, the decisions that they make start with that question of, how is this going to impact Hilliard? How is this going to impact our city? and then they go from there. Like, I've been privileged to see a little bit behind the scenes in their home and in their planning. What the questions really are, starting with, are, how does this impact them, and why should we even do it? Everything kind of falls from that. And so I think you could just literally toss a rock in Old Hilliard. You could toss a rock in certain places of Hilliard, and Coffee Connections has touched that place. You could literally pull up a list of nonprofits, and Coffee Connections has probably touched a majority of those. You could go and talk to any person walking down the street of Old Hilliard, and they could say, no, Nate has had a really good conversation. Sharon's really helped me out through this. The baristas have just given me a free coffee. The beautiful thing about Coffee Connections is that they seriously start with the question of, how does this impact? And then everything falls from it.